Hey guys, it's your good Designisme. Welcome back to Designisme Daily, where we design our own clothes, we design our own business, and we design our own lives. And in today's video, we're going to be jumping into a quick pattern drafting tutorial. Now, there are a couple dresses that I want to create specifically for my very pregnant tummy. Alright, but I did realize that I did not have I never showed you guys how to draft a basic bodycon dress pattern on this channel. So we're able to update our pattern drafting files. All right, I really want to bring you guys a lot more very easy to draft pattern tutorials. So this one, I guess, is going to be the first one. And after we are done drafting this very basic bodycon dress pattern, we are going to be using that pattern in order to create a very sexy, very summery pregnant friendly dress. All right, so that is going to be part 2 of this video, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's video, and I hope you guys enjoy.
We lied, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up, let it go. But we fell apart just in time.
So we are going to need a couple essential tools. I have my tank top that fits me really well. I have my pattern paper, my paper scissors, my measuring tape, my armhole curve, my graph ruler, and my pencil. So let's go ahead and begin. The first thing I'm doing is laying out my tank top really nice and flat. And I am going to draw the center front line first because, as you guys know, we only really need a half of this pattern, and we're just going to reflect it because it is a symmetric pattern. So I'm just eyeballing how I'm laying this and just kind of roughly finding the center of my tank top, laying it nice and flat, and I'm just tracing along the entire tank top. So starting with the neckline, all the way around to the shoulder, all the way around to the armhole, down to the side seams, and that part right there that literally ends under my bust. All right, so the empire, this is the empire line that I'm drawing here. That under bust line, our side seam line, my shoulder line, and then I'm just gonna grab my armhole curve in order to connect those lines accurately. So like I always mention to you guys, when you're creating a pattern from a ready-made piece, you obviously just kind of roughly estimate what the tracing is going to be, but you use your tools in order to obtain accurate lines. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to measure down from my shoulder all the way down to my waist. All right, and this is what we like to call the empire level. All right, so you place the measuring tape on the highest point of your shoulder all the way down to your bust, then your under bust, and then down to your waist. For me, that measurement is 16 inches from my shoulder, and that is obviously what I am placing here. I measured my waist circumference as well, and currently, because I am pregnant, it measured 28 inches. However, this dress is a bodycon dress, so I might be able to get away with using my regular measurements without my tummy. So instead of using the 7 inches, I'm going to use 6.5. And we all know, when you measure your waist circumference, you divide that measurement by 4, and that is obviously the measurement that you're going to use when you are drafting half of your front or half of your back pattern, etc. I connected those lines. So from my armhole all the way to my waistline at the side seam, I connected those lines, and now these are the measurements that I am going to be using in order to finish off this bodycon dress pattern. All right, so this is going to be my skirt measurements. So I have my waist to hip, my hip circumference, as well as the length of the skirt. So as you guys can see, I have 30 inches for the length of my skirt. However, it really just depends on how much paper we have available, and we're gonna see that now. All right, it really does not matter because once you have the pattern and it fits your body perfectly, you can always adjust the length when you are going to use the pattern for like different designs or whatever the case may be. So I'm just measuring, I'm using my ruler and I'm measuring all the way down from my waist. This is the center front length that I'm plotting right now, and as you guys could see, just as I anticipated, my paper is a little bit short, so I was only able to get about 21 inches. And I'm just going to place my my waist to hip measurement. So from my waist, I'm just measuring 9 inches down, and that is where my hip is going to be. And then obviously I'm just going to divide my hip circumference measurement by 4, and that is going to be the measurement that we're placing here. So 38 inches divided by 4. I'm just labeling that so I know exactly what line that is. Alright, so 9.5. And all I'm going to do now is, because this is a pencil skirt, because this is a fitted bodycon dress, but obviously this part of the skirt is a pencil skirt, so it is pretty fitted. I am simply measuring the circumference of wherever the length of the skirt stops. Measure the circumference around that area divided by 4, and that is the measurement that you're going to place at the hem. I'm just connecting those lines at the side seams, and I always remind my students that the body does not have any pointy areas, so go ahead and grab your curve ruler and we're just going to smoothen out that point at the side seam. Perfect. So once we have our basic bodycon completely mapped out, it's time to add our allowance. Now remember, the top part of the pattern we did create from a ready-made garment, so therefore we would need to add our 1/2 inch allowance at the side. But because we drafted the skirt part of our pattern from our actual measurements, and this pattern is meant to be a very fitted pattern, instead of adding a 1/2 inch allowance on the outside of our skirt, we are adding that allowance line 1/2 inch on the inside, so that way it remains really fitted. I really hope that makes sense. Alright, so at the top we added our 1/2 inch allowance on the outside, and then from the waist down we added our allowance line on the inside, and we just made sure that that blended in nice and perfect. Alright, I'm just gonna add the remaining allowance along the rest of the pattern, so on my shoulder, as well as my armhole, as well as my neckline. I'm just adding a 1/2 inch all the way around my pattern. And then of course I am just going to my hem, and we're going to add our 1 inch allowance at the hem. Now remember guys, it really does not matter what length you decide for this particular pattern to be. When you do use your pattern to create other designs, you can always add or take away to make your dress longer or shorter. Alright, so if you're using this particular pattern to make a dress right now, then obviously you're going to want to have the length that you want. But just for future reference, just because I am drafting this pattern so that I can have it for like future pieces and future videos, I'm really not paying too much attention to the finished length because I know I have intentions of adjusting it. All right, so the last thing I'm doing now is I'm just going to write up my pattern. All right, we always name our pattern, we always give it a design number. This pattern is going to be my front and back pattern, so therefore I really do not need to draft 2 pattern pieces because the back and the front is more or less the same thing. So it's one pattern. We're just going to say front and back pattern, and it's cut 2 because we're going to be cutting it on fold. I'm going to put my cut on fold symbol just so that I know it's cut on fold. And that is more or less it, guys. I'm really excited to use this pattern for like upcoming videos. In part 2 of this video, you guys are going to see me use this exact same pattern, manipulate it to create a new design that is super sexy and pregnant girl friendly, and I know you guys are gonna enjoy that video. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys enjoy videos like these and you want to see more videos like these, do not forget to leave me a like, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and of course I will see you guys in my next one.
But we fell apart just in time.